morning, happy peoples. Hope your day is going awesome. Day here in Alaska. It is 30 below zero. It was about 40 below this morning. I didn't get up early enough to check the temperature, and to be honest, I just want to say thank you for everyone that put a comment on the last video. And if you haven't looked at the comments in the last video, please do so. You guys shared some very personal stories, those that were comfortable doing it, of pivotal life moments, and that is just very, very cool that you would do that. One lady even shared that she's actually suffering through HG as she speaks, and her husband's having to take time off work, and they're talking about starting a plumbing business. Anyway, I just read that comment, so that's... You guys are amazing. You guys are so inspiring. You guys are amazing, so thank you for sharing that. Today, I'm actually going to go rent the blue house, the house you saw in the last video. I'm going to go do some paperwork with that, which is going to be great. A nice military family, just had a brand new baby. So I'm gonna go make that happen, and then, due to popular demand, many of you have asked about our food storage. The prepper life, the secret prepper life that we live. No, not really, but there was a time we were super hardcore into it. My wife is very organized. We're just trying to get a little bit more organized here. But I mean, she's got binders, and she'll show you a little bit later. But you guys asked for it, so we're gonna bring it to you. And maybe talk about like why we even do this, because prepper life is kind of all over the place, right? You've got some people that are, planning for the end of the world, and you have some people that are just trying to, plan through hard economic times for maybe just having a large pantry. They might consider you a prepper. Or maybe you're a prepper because you have, 3 or 4 months worth of food, or somewhere in between. Anyway, we'll get into that a little bit later, but let's go rent our unit and we'll talk about prepper stuff, all things prepper here in just a bit.
Hello, happy peoples. Hope you guys are doing fantastic. We are doing all things school right now. Beep, beep, beep. Some of you have asked what kind of curriculum we use. I'll let you know real quick. We kind of do a mixture of things. So we do the Acellus program. We do teaching textbooks for math. We do the Phonetic Zoo for spelling. And then we just kind of like do unit study type things of different courses and stuff that maybe we want to touch on. So like if they're interested in horses, or they're interested in space, or they're interested, we'll study kind of different things on that. Get library books, go online, do reports, all those things. So that is what we are working on right now. My husband is out renting our old rental, our old house, our rental that we took you guys in the last vlog. So that is already rented, holy moly. But super grateful for that. But it was awesome being able to go in and check that out. We are gonna do something fun. You guys have requested it in the last, not this last video, but the video before, where we took you to Costco and we kind of freshened up our food storage. I have a pretty extensive long-term food storage, so I wanted to kind of expound on it, show you some of my resources, how I use it, what we have all in it, and all that fun stuff. So that's what we're gonna do. But first, I have placed a click list order. For those of you who don't know what click list is, Fred Meyer, our local Fred Meyer, offers it, where you can go online, you can shop for all your groceries, they shop for it, and they load it up in your car. It's the best invention I think I've heard of in a really, really long time. Especially when you live here and it gets super, super cold and you don't want to get out of your car. So I am going to head on into Fred Meyer, pick up my click list. I've purchased some items, hopefully, if they still have them in stock. We'll come back here and I'll show you all of the things that I have compiled over the years, kind of like our plan, some of the resources that I use. I'm pretty excited to share with you. Back before I was vlogging, this was actually a fairly big passion of mine. Like I worked a lot on it. I spent a lot of time. I even went to all the grocery stores in our area and like did price comparisons on the same items. I was pretty hot and heavy prepper. Let's check in on my babe and see how he's doing over at the rental.
Gonna stay in this moment. Gonna lay here on the grass.
Thank you so much, and yeah, welcome home. Congrats. All right, very exciting. They're all moved in and good to go, and I'm gonna head back to the house, and I'll send you back to them and see how they're doing.
I don't mind being gone on adventures for a while. No, no. 'Cause the best thing about it is I know I'm coming back. Oh, oh. Of all the magic places in the world,
My name is John. Can I get your first and last name, please?
Sure, Jessica Summers.
And what spot are you, Miss Jessica?
Number 2.
Okay, give us a moment. We'll be up momentarily at the order.
Perfect, thank you.
Bye.
Bye. And it's easy as that. We're here at the good old Fred Meyer picking up the click list. Hello? Got an Insta story. If you're not following me on Instagram, this is prime content. Prime content you're missing if you're not following me on Instagram. Me at the old click list. Let's do it. Gotta boomerang it. No, we're gonna super zoom it and we're gonna do the hearts. Here we go. You guys like my step play by play? This is not working for me. Not working for me. There it is. Prime content. It's prime content. Follow me on Instagram, guys. I'm so excited for projects that I'm working on. I'm so excited. Here they come. Oh, that's a big load, guys. It's a big load. Remember, this has some of my prepper items that they don't sell at Costco. Yeah, they hate me. So. Hi.
All the way in the back?
All the way in the back. Thank you.
No problem. You got any fun plans for the weekend?
Not really. We were gonna maybe go to the ice park, but it's been so stinking cold.
Yes. I was kind of a little upset and waking up and it was like 40 below.
40 below.
This morning.
I was like, what in the world? We're in March. Go away. Okay.
Want a new copy of your receipt?
Sure.
Okay.
That'd be great. All right. I got it.
Okay.
Best invention. The best invention. I wonder if a mom came up with that. Do you think a mom came up with that idea? All right. Let us head on back home, get these things offloaded, and I'll take you into my food storage.
I'm walking down the street on clouds instead of the concrete I'm dancing through. Everything's about to come my way. Nothing can ruin my day, no matter what anyone does or say. I smile at fools. No, I don't care, cause I am on my way up, and I won't stop, I won't slow down. Steady on my feet, I'm gonna rise up. No, I won't.
Okie dokie. We have made it back to the old food storage area. It's still, guys, it's still a work in progress, okay? This is definitely not where it's supposed to be entirely, but it's at least somewhat. Basically, I asked you guys if you wanted to see my long-term food storage, and this is kind of it. This is a majority of it, let's say that. I will do a preface. I do not have any white sugar on hand. The white sugar, when we moved from our house, before we moved into this one, so it's been about a year, our sugar got ruined. It got wet, and it got like little tiny holes all throughout it. It might have been like shrews possibly getting in it, because sometimes you can have shrews here. I just discarded that, and I haven't replenished it because we generally don't use white sugar. Just side note that you will not see white sugar, but I am probably planning on getting it because A, it's super cheap, B, it keeps for a really long time, and it just makes things taste better if you're having to delve into this, okay? Forgot my binders. These are like gold. I actually started my long-term food storage back in about 2011 is when I started kind of compiling things. Little things here and there. That's when Evelyn came into the family. You already know that's when we started our business, and I kind of just started compiling things here and there, just a little bit. Mind you, I was living in that really tiny home that you just saw in the last video. Link to that video. I didn't have very much space, so don't let space deter you. You can put a lot in small areas. There's different systems that you can do. It's actually amazing on how much you can fit, and I made do. Our main goal in food storage obviously is preparedness. Being that we live in Alaska, the way that we get our food here is not necessarily like other states. And if those roads get shut off or something happens in the lower 48, good chance that we won't receive our shipment. And this could be due to weather. This could be due to numerous different things. Ice on the roads. This could be due to shortage in crops of where, different things are coming from. Anyway, so just being prepared because of where we live. So that was one of my main reasons for doing it. And Bert and I's mentality has always been, be as prepared as we can. the opportunity of us being able to help others was greater. So if you are already prepared, you know, like you put your mask on before helping those that are next to you, or your kids next to you, or that person next to you, you got to put yours on first so you can help those other people, right? So we wanted to get all prepared of like if something did happen and some people couldn't get food or they weren't stocked up, we would have the resources to be able to help them. So that was another big motivation. I'm going to take you around and kind of show you a little bit of what we have. So one of the main things that I really wanted to stock up on was wheat berries. You can do a lot with wheat berries. So here they are. I've got multiple different kinds. We've got a bronze, chief, and then we've got prairie gold. So the reason why they are different types is the way different varieties that are grown. So you have your darker berries, you have your lighter. So like if you really want that really weedy taste in bread, you know, you're going to lean towards more of the bronze. And then the prairie gold is like a lighter, like a golden type of a grain. I invested in this cool little hand crank wheat grinder. That way if we did lose power, I would be able to still be able to grind my wheat. I do have a Bosch wheat grinder that works fantastic. I've used that a lot. Some more rice that's up here, long grain brown rice, some hard white wheat. We've got like those pills that you see that are like your everyday or your emergency food storage meals a day, 4 serving meals type of a thing that we picked up. And the neat thing about these vacuum tight sealed off containers is that they can last about 30 years. So they are an investment up front, but you can actually get a long duration, long use out of things. Some lentils, we have some organic coconut oil, some raw clover honey that are great for baking and cooking. We have these really cool containers for things that I store my wheat in. You just twist this off and the wheat's right in there and you can scoop it out, whatever you might need. So you can, you know, break into one of those, pour it into here. This is sealed super tight. It's got a sealer around the edge there. Keeps all the air out, makes it be able to last longer. So those are great. Some more white rice. This was pretty cool. We have canned butter. Creamy butter that is canned, which can generally last a really, really long time. Things like these that you can find sometimes at Walmart. I've got all different kinds of your number 10 cans. Those are fantastic to have. Some Vital Wheat gluten, which is imperative for making a good loaf of bread if you want to add that in to kind of make it more elastic. We do have some garden seeds, 2 different ones. So if we weren't able to get a hold of like actual seed packets, we would actually, these are canned and can last a really, really long time. Some MREs, I found a lot of those sometimes at garage sales, a lot of the military PCSing, and they're like, well, we don't really need these. So I was like, all right, I mean, they last for a really long time. We got a few of the Mountain House, not so many. These aren't super old, and I probably actually will vacuum seal these, because making sure that they stay as fresh as they possibly can. Speaking of vacuum sealing, this is my vacuum sealer that works amazing. It's like an industrial size. I would use that when I actually went through. You can see I purchased some rolled oats, so I got like a huge bag, just steel cut rolled oats, and I vacuum sealed them. So I vacuum packed everything, so no air. You know, nothing's gonna get through there. In each of the vacuum sealed packages that I've done, I bought oxygen absorbers. So they're just like, let me see if I can find one. Here's one right here. So you see that little guy right there? That's called an oxygen absorber. So I just put those in each one of those, and it will suck all of, if there's any oxygen left in this bag after I vacuum seal it, it will suck that all up. So I try to do too, guys, if there's anything that I'm talking about that I can find for you online, like say Amazon or anything like that, I will link it down in the description in case you guys want to maybe try to get some of this stuff or read about it, or I don't know what I'll be able to find, but I'll do my best. Prairie Gold wheat. I have dried eggs. This is pretty fun. I vacuum sealed up dried eggs. Like a conversion, like I have like a conversion rate of how many tablespoons you use per water. So it will tell you, I'll show you. I have both powdered milk and powdered eggs, little conversion charts. If your recipe calls for this amount of liquid of milk, 1 cup of milk, you would use 3 tablespoons of the powdered milk and 1 cup of water to equal that for your recipe. And then for eggs, if you need 1 egg, it's 1 tablespoon of the powder and then 3 tablespoons of water. And that would be equivalent to an actual whole egg. Fantastic! Someday though, guys, I really want to try to get chickens. Trying to talk Bird into that because I think chickens would be fun. Going out, getting my fresh eggs. Kind of that person, like being outside. I like working with my hands and I like kind of puttering around. So getting chickens, hopefully. I'm going to start my garden this year. I want to so bad. So that is definitely in the mix of what I'm wanting to do this summer as well. So that's a huge resource if you're able to get a good garden off the ground, good greenhouse off the ground. That's huge. We got some garlic mashed potatoes, like a restaurant supply store that was in Anchorage that I had Bert go to a while back. And I just vacuum sealed them all up. So they should still be good because these are all powdered. Some cornmeal, different size bags. So I have like little bags of cornmeal because you don't generally use a lot of cornmeal when you're cooking, but this is handy. Got the non-fat dried milk. Super important when you're doing food storage is to store things properly. And I remember that the milk was so fine when I was trying to vacuum seal it, like all the grains are going out. So I just put a piece of paper towel right here at the forefront of it and then sealed here, and it stopped it from doing that, which was awesome. That is a majority of our long-term food. So like all of our stuff that is like, we will not touch this stuff unless we absolutely have to. I also invested in a dehydrator, and it's got 9 different trays that you can dehydrate stuff on. When I was very diligent on dehydrating things, I would do things like fruits. I would do bananas, I do apples, I do blueberries, I've done raspberries. I've attempted jerky before because I was trying to like try my hand at like taking fresh fruit from the grocery store, popping in my dehydrator, dehydrate it, vacuum seal it, and then put it away for long-term food storage. So that's a great option. I don't know if they still sell these, but if they do, I'll put a link down in the description. Here locally, to go and get wheat berries is a little bit harder to find. It's not like you run down to Costco and go get your wheat berries, or at least not in our Costco. There are different places that do that around the state. Main ones here is Sourdough Girls, who I've worked with before. Sourdough Girls is the distributor here for Fairbanks, North Pole area, and I think they might even service Delta. Not 100% on that, but Holy Living, which I will link all their links down below, they actually distribute. They're based off in Palmer, Anchorage area, and they distribute to all of the places around Alaska. So Fairbanks, North Pole, Delta, Valdez, Seward, like they distribute everywhere, and then there's people in those little towns that will distribute out to the families there. So for any of my local peeps, the Sourdough Girls and the Holy Living is a great option to be able to find like those items that you might not necessarily just be able to run down to the store and grab. One of the main resources that I've used over the years is my everyday food storage gals. Jody and Julie of FoodStorageMadesEasy.net have created a beautiful system. And they have an emergency prep section, step 1 shelves, step 2 water, step 3 month food supply, step 4 long-term education, step 5 grains, step 6 legumes, step 7 baking ingredients, step 8 fruits and vegetables, 9 comfort foods, 10 non-food items beyond the baby steps, recipe appendix, and personal notes. Pretty sure you're able to still get this. If not, I'm sure they've probably upgraded it to be even better. And I had to pay a fee to be able to print it out, but I will tell you, well worth it, because it gave me structure, it gave me organization to what I wanted to accomplish. So they are huge resources. So there's inventory sheets, there's menu planning that you can do. They touch on both short-term food storage, which is what we showed you in the last video, and your long-term food storage. So what you're able to accomplish if you needed to get into your long-term food storage, because if you don't know how to make recipes out of this stuff, it's not really going to do you much good. You have to be able to know how to use your material. And then she talks about on how you're able to rotate and cycle through your food storage, that you just, stuff that you consume all the time, like stuff that your family regularly goes through and not letting it sit and spoil. So they are a huge resource. I will link them down below. You can go check them out, see what you think. A little spreadsheet of how much you would need of each item to be able to have, say, a year's worth of supplies of food to be able to live off of. So you have like wheat, flour, cornmeal, oats, rice, pastas. Then you have like your shortening, your vegetable oil. Goes all the way down. It's really, really neat on how they break it down and how many pounds. Like it lists like how many you would need for your family. You would need 450 pounds of wheat for a year-long supply. So I will link some of these resources if you guys are interested in it. But let us know. So things like medical supplies, emergency preparedness, what would happen if we lost power, what would happen if we couldn't use our water out of the faucets, things like that. Let us know. We would be happy to share that with you guys if that's something it would interest you. Give this video a thumbs up if you've enjoyed this content. A lot of fear sometimes associated with food storage and being prepared, but it doesn't have to be. A lot of people I think are going crazy right now. The goal in being prepared, or the goal in compiling your food storage and not going, you don't have to be crazy, right? Before you actually need it. So just getting that knowledge base, knowing what you would need, knowing what your family needs, what lasts, how to store it. There's all different kinds of things. Like you can see, like none of our stuff is on the ground. That's super important. Even the wheat, making sure that it's not touching the concrete. It's got to be up on wood because your concrete sweats. So knowing things like that and being aware so that your investment, because this is an investment, is that it will be able to last. You'll be able to take care of your family and not have to worry about it when you actually do need it. So let me know if you guys want us to touch any more on this. It's kind of fun for me. I kind of like it. It's kind of my nerdy side. You know how Bert always has his nerdy side of controls. Welcome to my nerdy side. So anyway, I think we're going to call this one a night. Thank you guys so much for watching. This video, thumbs up if you enjoyed it. It really helps out our channel. Don't forget to subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you can be notified when we go live here from North Pole, Alaska. So let me know too if there's any comments, questions. If you guys have any questions, throw those down below too. I'll do my best to answer them. And we'll see you in the next one. Bye.
Thanks for watching. See you in the next video. Bye.